Blessings to everyone. I'd like to take a few moments and briefly talk about police brutality and the thing that has come from that. Yes, there are bad cops. I mean, we would be naive to think that there are not. The Bible tells us that evil men and seducers will wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. Yes, so as long as men are on this earth and men have not chosen to have their hearts changed by the power of the Lord Jesus Christ, there are going to be evil men in every aspect of our life. There's corruption everywhere. So that's something that we'll never get away from until the Lord Jesus Christ returns and sets up his kingdom upon the earth. So now, what I am seeing being birthed out of the police brutality videos are people using their video phones to record the police at every opportunity with the hopes of capturing something that can be used to further shed negative light on the law enforcement community. But not only are just people recording the police, they are using abusive, threatening, and profanity addressed at the police, clearly heard in the videos. So what do you expect that the officer will do? He will become disrespectful and abusive towards that individual or individuals. And when things go wrong, it's the officer's fault, of course. Never mind the actions of the individual who has to take responsibility for his or her own action. And that too seems to be a growing trend. No one wants to take responsibility for their own actions. When we go on a witch hunt for bad cops, we are most likely to open a door that will put innocent people in harm's way. And I don't think that this is something that we want to do. I posted some scriptures from the book of Proverbs on my Facebook page that deals with having wisdom and understanding, and how having these virtues and seeking after them in your life will keep you safe and away from unnecessary troubles. The scriptures are Proverbs 3, verses 13 through 16, verses 21 through 23, and verse 35. You can read them at your leisure. Proverbs 15:1 tells us that a soft answer turns away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger. Proverbs 26:17 says, like one who grabs a wild dog by the ears, so is the person passing by who becomes furious over a quarrel not his own. It is good to want to help someone that is in need, but to interfere with police business in a violent way only leads to trouble. If you are stopped by an officer, comply with his or her instructions. If you don't have any warrants or any other violations, you will be on your way in a matter of minutes. But on the other hand, if you want to offer resistance, then you will bring unnecessary hardship upon yourself. Answer them in a calm, intelligent, and non-threatening way. Remember, a soft answer will not stir up anger. Jesus said that we should agree with our adversaries quickly while we are in their company, lest the adversary send you to the judge, and the judge send you to the officer, and the officer puts you in prison. Not saying that cops are our enemies or our adversaries. In other words, Jesus is saying things could go very wrong for you when you resist authority. What comes to my mind is the incident recorded for us in Matthew's the 26th chapter, verses 50 through 54, when Jesus was in the garden with his disciples and Judas came to betray him. And the soldiers and those that came along with Judas took hold of Jesus to arrest him. And Peter pulled out his sword and cut off the ear of one of the servants or one of the soldiers. And Jesus told him not to do it. And something very interesting Jesus said, because while Jesus was here on this earth, I mean, he had power. He said that he could have called more than 12 legions of angels to come and remove him from that situation. But he knew that the reason he came was to die for lost humanity. Jesus didn't resist. We shouldn't resist officers of the law if we are stopped by them or whatever the situation may be. I want to share some other scriptures with you that can keep unnecessary trouble from you. In Romans 13, 1 through 4, we are told to obey the legal authority that God ordained in the earth. Yes, man has abused this authority and corruption has set in. And this is because Satan is the God of this world, and he influences the decisions of nations and men. If you are law-abiding, you have no need to fear. But if you are determined to live a criminal lifestyle, then the man is coming for you. So don't think it's strange and yell police brutality while you are resisting when they are dealing with you. Continuing on the topic of submitting and being compliant to law enforcement, the Lord told the prophet Jeremiah that they were going into captivity by the king of Babylon. He told Jeremiah to tell the people to not resist, but to comply. And in doing so, that would save their lives. The Lord said to Jeremiah in Jeremiah 21, 8 and 9, that he has set before them the way of life and the way of death. They would live if they complied, but if they refused and defended themselves, then they would die. I know that this is not popular, but God's ways are best. In Jeremiah 27, 8 through 11, the Lord continues the same theme in telling the people to comply with the king and not to listen to the prophets that prophesy lies, saying that they will not serve the king of Babylon. In essence, telling them resist and fight, very similar to what some of our popular black activists and leaders are advocating. There are legal ways to deal with an officer that you feel has been disrespectful or abusive towards you. There are legal ways to deal with police brutality and the use of unwarranted deadly force. But to post videos of police trying to do their job when an individual is being non-compliant, belligerent, and verbally abusive towards an officer is not the way to do it, especially when the actions of the individual are not scrutinized. Posting your videos on Facebook is not a legal avenue. Submit your videos to the proper authorities. And I pray that other godly men and women of God would back me on this and stand for the truth in every facet of life. Because if taunting the police continues, we run the risk of seeing more unnecessary shootings and killings by police than we can stomach. Remember, they are people too. They deal with some of the same issues in life that you and I do. I understand that some officers may be prejudiced or dishonest, but standing up against them won't change that. The best thing for you to do is to get their badge number or the number of the car and file a formal complaint. You never know, that officer may have had several complaints filed against him or her already, and yours could be the one that takes him or her off the streets. There have been several indictments brought about on police using excessive force and brutality, all because someone recorded the incident without confronting the police and turned the video over to the proper authorities. So it does work. like I say, the point of this video is just to give our young people some, hopefully some understanding, and not to become so riled up and defensive, and uh, you have to prove something to the police, because that only will lead to more and more trouble. So I pray that this was a blessing to you, and I hope that some of you will take heed. Be blessed.